Welcome to Start 100K, where I'm helping people get to their first $100,000 in net worth. So today I'm going to talk about the stimulus payments. Not who's going to get them necessarily, but by the way, that's anybody that's $75,000 of adjusted gross income, single, or $150,000 married filing jointly. And then it phases out at completely at $99,000 of AGI. So either way, this time around, the second stimulus package, it's $600 per qualified child and person and adult in the household. So first off, I want to just say, for everybody that's saying that's not enough or whatnot, a quick Google search showed that there's 11 countries that have less than $600 per year in gross domestic product per capita. So it's actually, looking at the world, a pretty decent sum of money. But either way, regardless of how you feel about whether it's enough or not, hopefully it helps if you're needing it, and if you don't need it, then hopefully you're able to use it to get yourself closer to your 100K net worth. So with that said, just real quick, this isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. This is for educational and inspirational purposes only. And as always, if you do nothing else today, please share, comment, and subscribe, because I'm going to be doing more of these videos. So I've got my coffee, got my calculator. Let's get started. So what can $600 do? Well, $600 can actually do quite a bit. So right now in the United States, there's 53% of Americans that have zero emergency savings. So they have no rainy day fund to cover an emergency expense. That's kind of scary. So if you just literally take a portion of that money and make yourself an emergency fund, that could really really have a pretty big impact. It's not necessarily going to do anything other than just cover expenses, but just to give you an idea, so the Federal Reserve did a survey, and for a $400 emergency, so any some type of $400 emergency, there's 28% of Americans that could not pay their bills. So they could not pay their monthly bills. That's pretty striking. Almost a third of the country couldn't keep things going with a $400 emergency. So put that in perspective, the transmission went out in my truck not that long ago, and that was $3,000. So there's some pretty big emergencies out there that that could really cause you some problems. And then a whole nother 37% would not. Survey said would not pay with cash. So it doesn't say they could not, but the assumption is that that they're using some other form of credit, or not. That's not the assumption, but a lot of people were using either credit cards or some type of other leverage or borrowing from a family member. Or I think there was 12% that just said they wouldn't pay. They just wouldn't pay that $400 emergency. So that's kind of interesting and striking as well. So a lot of people also ask, well, okay, I've got this money, could I invest it? Yes, you can. And the best place to do that, if you haven't already started, is in a an IRA or a retirement account though, because it's tax sheltered. So we'll get to that in another video. So, but what does $600 really become over time? So $600 doesn't maybe seem like a lot to many Americans, but like for me, that's a lot of money. That's probably more than I had at least the first half of my life. So I got my handy dandy finance calculator here. So I was already playing with it. So $600, if you invested it in S&P 500 index fund for 30 years, would become almost $9,500, and that's if you put no other money in there. So that's, and that's assuming I just did a quick Google search. So that's, $0 payment and 30 years. And that's a 9.24% rate of return. You could be more conservative. For me, whenever I'm doing my own figures for my own stuff, I use 8%, but just because that was what was Googleable at the time, I decided to use 9.24%. So if we kind of change this up a little bit, that's with the zero payment. So if we added just $50 a month, that becomes $105,000. And this is over 30 years, so 12 payments per year. So with a 9.24% interest rate. So that's, so just right there, if you take your $600 and $50 a month, we could easily get to $100K in a retirement account. That's pretty substantial. I think the average retirement account balance is right around $65,000. So that would be pretty significant. That could be life-changing for a lot of people. The other thing that you could do with this, if you carry debt, because that's all fine and dandy, but if you carry any kind of consumer debt, so a quick Google search showed me that the average credit card interest rate was 16.05% interest, and that's the APR. So 9.24% versus 16.05%. Quick. I don't need to do math to tell me that I'm in the hole quite a bit. You can't get ahead if you're carrying credit card debt. Just to give you an idea. So if your credit card balance was even, let's say if it was $5,000, so that's per year in 1 year. We'll assume a zero payment. So that's going to grow an extra $800, almost $865. So you're losing, every year that you carry an average balance of $5,000 or more, you're gonna lose $864.25. So that not so good. So either way, debt and especially credit cards, it just really makes it hard to get ahead. So so if you have that stimulus payment, maybe you could do a variety of things. Maybe you could do part of it toward credit card debt, or you could also do part of it in an emergency fund. so on and so forth. So especially if you got, have multiple payments, and your payment, like for us, there's 3 of us, so we got $1,800 payment, so we're going to split that up. But regardless, the main thing that I would say with the stimulus money is just to have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan for that money, it will just walk away on you. So, or you'll see the balance in your bank account. Well, maybe not you, but for me, I see the balance in my bank account and I go, hey, I'm good to go. And then I end up spending it and going, oh, whoops. Yeah, I guess it's all gone. So if you don't have a plan, if you don't pay attention to it, that money is going to walk off along with the opportunities that it could bring you. So, yeah, that's just some ideas of what what you could do, and use it toward your goal of reaching 100,000 in net worth. But yeah, it's just a really neat thing, and we'll see how things go, but we'll see how the future goes. But either way, I hope this was useful, maybe a little bit thought-provoking, and hopefully this is something that's helpful to you. So please remember, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.